Switch 2. You
But
know,
see,
again,
I'm not, well, maybe it's just because I'm not plugged into the gaming community,
mm,
but I don't want to Switch 2. I like my Switch the way it is because, like, when consoles graduate into their next form, inevitably innovation goes away from the console you have, even if they leave the store up, like.
that's fair. And Nintendo are awful at that. The Virtual Console was a wealth of like classic Nintendo games that is just not available anymore. So no, I understand that. I will say the Switch, especially in like the modern gaming landscape, the Switch is it was noticeably behind times when it on its release in 2016. In 2025, it is significant. Like it is a far less powerful piece of technology than its contemporaries now. Like actually, by that metric, I recently played Epic Mickey, the remaster that came out.
Yeah.
That got I've seen video of it running on PC and like PlayStation, and it runs fine. It runs a okay. The Switch version was running significantly worse. And like I don't mean just being a lower like quality, like being a lower resolution or lower frame rate. Just its performance was far substantially like laggier. It would frame drop from 30 down.
Well, okay, that's a
So
fair point, but like what I like about the Switch is that I could not care less about the Xbox and the PlayStation 5. I feel like there is like a community of gamers who are really invested in like, high-tech gaming PCs, the newest things, all that kind of stuff. You described the Switch really well when you first got one on this show, and you said it was the most comfortable console you have. And I a Switch 2 makes me nervous because I don't want to be dragged into that quagmire, kicking and screaming, like.
no, and again, I don't think Nintendo are ever going to be chasing that. They never have been.
Mm.
But I do think that it is about time they come up to modern spec. I mean, we're way past the point where a 1080p like handheld monitor is like the standard.
Right.
Like so like cuz that's the current Switch we have. Even the OLED Switch was still like which was the updated model about 4 years ago. That's still like that handheld screen is still maxing out at 720p. The barest minimum to be considered high definition. It's not a hard thing to have like a 1080p screen on a handheld. Your phone probably has a better resolution than the Switch at this point.
True, but that only matters if you care about resolution. Like, I mean, we spent
I
weeks and weeks of this show talking about stuff from the original Nintendo library. Like,
That's fair. I do though is the thing. I
okay,
do when I do get that funny feeling in my heart of flutters. The same feeling I get when I see my soon to be wife. I also get when a game runs at 60 frames per second. I don't know if the mic picked that up. Louise just
and
cackled in
and
the other room.
and what is your fiance's frame rate then? Like,
Oh, she runs at a buttery 120 FPS.
is she in high def?
Depends on if I'm wearing glasses or not.
I'm gonna arrive at your wedding with this like ancient Switch console and be like, God, everything's so pixely. Can't tell
no,
what's
actually,
going
no.
on.
No, actually, Louise performs at a reduced 24 frames per second that gives her a stop motion feel.
That explains your RSVP thing I had to sign today. Right, okay.
Oh yeah, no, your frame cap is
Pick
important.
your
You've got
allergy, music, and frame rate.
to. Which actually, it remind just as a side tangent, one of the games I am so excited for this year is Death Stranding 2, mostly because it's the next Hideo Kojima game, but in a game that will run anywhere between 60 to 120 frames per second, like high def standards, there is a puppet companion who hangs around on your belt,
Yeah.
who, aside from every other character, is running at 24 frames per second. That is giving a stop motion effect that nobody else in this game is. It looks incredible.
All right, I like stuff like that. Gabby's Dollhouse has like a one character who's stop motion and the rest are like fluid. I love when they mix and match stuff like that.
See, it's fun. Frame rates are fun, Kian. Don't you get it?
Not if
And
I have to
this is
pay for them.
that's fair. And like again, at least from the very little info we've gotten from Nintendo, like directly from Nintendo, I don't. it seems like it's just going to be a better one. You might not be able to play the newest Switch games, but
Mm.
the older ones will work.
Okay, and I won't need to install the Nintendo Music app for this new console or anything like that.
Who's to say? Oh, we will find out sometime this spring if Nintendo were still to be believed.
Okay. Well, the fact that they're getting annoyed means it's usually a good sign.
Yeah, that's yeah. When lawyers really start coming out, that's when you know moves are happening.
All right. Well, here's one last question before we sort of move on to sort of speculative news, which is if the Switch 2 was coming out and they were doing a big release from like an established thing like Zelda or Mario or something else, what kind of game series would you like to get the Switch 2 treatment?
Ooh, well, okay, I can give you the industry answer and the heart answer. The industry answer is we kind of already know what the flagship title for the Switch 2 is going to be,
Okay.
and that's going to be it's looking like it's going to be Metroid Prime 4.
Oh, okay.
They've shown that off. They've announced that, and they gave that like a trailer in the last direct, and announced that for a spring 2025 release date, but no firm date.
Okay.
Probably because it's going to launch with the Switch 2.
Right.
Um, as for the heart, I it is getting to the time where I am really hankering for a new Mario 3D game.
Oh.
Mario Mario Odyssey was so incredible,
Hmm.
and that game is now 9 years old.
Oh God, I just aged when you said that.
But no, like even then, like it's still it's still as like timeless as
Hmm.
even then. Like it's still an incredible piece of tech.
Oh,
Um, but something about Astrobot has really gotten me in that like mood for 3D puzzle platformers, and to for Nintendo to iterate on Mario Odyssey and the depths of complexity of the platforming of that game, I cannot wait to see. And like, I never played it. I'm not a huge fan of the 2D Mario games,
hmm.
but I've been eyeing up Wonder, and I've seen like the wild stuff Wonder pulled.
The one we turned to elephants and all that kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah, the one where there's an entire platforming stage that becomes a musical number. Yeah, like if they bring that sort of like reckless abandon of creativity to
hmm.
a 3D Mario platformer, I'm all the way in. Like it, my hopes are high, and I think they can be met.
Hmm. Those are solid picks. I'm still waiting for like a new Fire Emblem game. I know you weren't blown away by the last one,
Yeah,
but like
Engage was crap.
I'm still waiting for it to go down in price on the Switch shop. It's never dipped below 60. Uh,
Yeah, no, you don't want to be paying. Like I think I this is less an actual value metric and more me rationalizing it.
hmm.
But in my head, I only paid €30 for that, and that is
You got a free, yeah, yeah.
I well yeah no I did the €100 vouchers thing,
Okay.
and I used it for that and Tears of the Kingdom, and Tears of the Kingdom is Nintendo's only €70 game.
Well, not including DLC.
Tears of the Kingdom never got DLC. Breath of the
No,
Wild
but I
did.
mean like
Yeah,
including DLC, the Fire
yeah.
Emblem I'm talking about is currently 90.
Oh Jesus, yeah. Don't pay €90 for that game. I mean, don't buy that game if I'm being honest with you. There's better Fire Emblems.
Hmm.
It's just kind of bad.
Yeah. Personally, I
Uh,
would just like more stuff to be added to the retro consoles. I'm still waiting
mm,
for like Star Wars Rogue Squadron to pop up since that's a classic Nintendo 64 game. Like or even like a some sort of like remaster for like 30 quid. I don't mind. Just something like that, you know?
yeah, big time, big time. Surprised actually, because yeah, I think I wouldn't again switch to. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a GameCube emulator get added.
That'd be okay, because I've never played a GameCube actually.
I
That
had one for a short bit, and I mean, it gave us Resident Evil 4. I cannot complain. That is a peak console for me. Then Dara may very well get his Dreamcast emulator.
Oh God. Don't say Dreamcast 3.